All right. All right, here we go. Let's have a conversation. I was going to wait until the official end of the Miami Dolphins season to make this video, whether that's this coming week or next week, whenever that is. But it's fresh on my mind. I got a lot of thoughts I got to get out. And you know what? I might as well get them out, right? That's what I made the channel for. And for a couple of reasons, I figured I'd make this video now. Because I know that there's still at least one more game left. I will still make an end of the season recap after the season actually ends. But for now, I want to hone in on one topic, and that's Tua Tagovailoa, obviously, by the title of this video. And that's reason number one why I'm making this now. The second reason is that when the Miami Dolphins lose games like they did yesterday, not a lot of people are looking up Dolphin content. Check me or any other Dolphins creator, check their views and likes, and check when they win and lose. I mean, when they lose like last night, no one's watching. No one wants to hear the shit. And look, for me personally, a lot of fans take it personal. I don't take it personal. I try to look at things from a logical point of view because at the end of the day, there's nothing I could do. I couldn't have made them win yesterday. I wasn't calling plays. So, I mean, it's not like my pride's hurt because the Dolphins lost. I'm just disappointed in the way they performed. So, and I think a lot of people, a lot of fans, because they're fanatical, and I totally get it, right? Because there was a lot of years where I felt that way. But because you're fanatical, when they lose, you take it personally. Like, it almost feels like, damn, like, you know what it is. And another thing is that whenever you talk about Tua, it's really a touchy subject, man. And look, I'm not saying that if you disagree with any of the points that I make, that you cannot think logically. That's not what I'm saying at all. But a lot of fans, when you talk critical about certain players, especially the starting quarterback, they go on attack mode. They don't want to have a conversation. They just want to attack. And I'll give an example. A tweet I made last night. Not a lot of people follow me on Twitter. If you want to, it's the Zamboni, Thee Zamboni. All my socials are in my YouTube bio or whatever that is, if you're curious. But basically, I quote tweeted a tweet about Tua. And I said, in my opinion, I can't say with confidence that he's the guy. The problem is that what alternative is there? Because there's definitely times where I see quarterbacks throw the ball and go, damn, I wish Tua had that in his arsenal. And look, that's the truth. That is how I feel about it. And I'm not saying you have to agree with that. And if you don't agree, you can't think logically. But in my opinion, that there are times where I'm watching other quarterbacks throw the ball outside the numbers and, they're hitting it perfectly. And they're just things that Tua doesn't do, right? And Tua does some great things. We'll get into that. But what I'm getting at here is the first reply I had to that was at 5 a.m. saying, "You're pathetic, LOL. He just led the league in passing yards. He was a top 5 quarterback in every stat this year. Tua carried this team to the playoffs. He stayed healthy for 17 games and played the best season of his career. This fan base is so ungrateful. We made it to the damn playoffs." And as far as the stuff beyond, like once you go on attack mode and start calling people stupid and pathetic, like that, it's just you being insecure at this point. It's just you, like, you're offended by what I've said. And if you're offended by it, that means that there's some level of truth to it. Like, if I walk up to a dude that doesn't have glasses on, I go, "What's up, Four Eyes?" They're going to be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" But if you got glasses on, you might get pissed off at me and tell me to fucking suck a dick or try to fucking, I don't know. Basically what I'm getting at is if you're going on attack mode, you're offended by something that has been said. And that's a lot of people in the fan base. They don't want to hear. They want to hear what they want to hear. They want to hear what their heart desires. And believe me, my heart desired nothing more than Tua Tagovailoa to be the greatest quarterback in Dolphins history. And I'm not saying that he won't be that at any point. But I want to look at what happened this season right now. Where are we at the quarterback position? Because I'm a Dolphins fan before anything else. Whether Tua's the quarterback, Tannehill's the quarterback, Chad Henne's the quarterback, I don't give a shit who's the quarterback. Win the fucking game, right? I don't care if it's Mike White. I don't care if it's Pat White. You win the game, I'm happy. But we're going to hone in on one player. And yeah, let's just get into it. So obviously last night, a lot of people are up in arms because it's a big battle of the fan base. A lot of people think Tua isn't the guy. A lot of people, they can't stand to hear that. And I'm not saying he's not the guy, but let's talk about it. So let's first go to his end-of-the-year stats. He finished the season with 4,624 passing yards. That's phenomenal. First of all, that is a shit ton of yards. Led the league in passing yards. I can't take that away from him. And also, he made the Pro Bowl as the starting quarterback of the AFC. I mean, fantastic. 29 touchdowns. And look, that's not a shit ton of touchdowns, but we got a shit ton of rushing touchdowns. All right, Raheem Mostert led the league in touchdowns rushing. So, and Devon Achane had a bunch of rushing touchdowns as well. So, I mean, you know, that is what it is. So he could have easily had 35 to 38 passing touchdowns, especially if they had a guy who could go up and get it in the red zone. But 29 touchdowns, that's fine. 14 interceptions. That is way, I'm not going to say way too much, but really you want to keep that number under 10, and it's 14. He threw a lot of interceptions, and a lot of those interceptions were in big games, and finished off the year with a passer rating of 101.1, about a 4-point drop from last year. So, yeah, those are the stats for Tua Tagovailoa at the end of the regular season. Playoff stats don't count towards regular season, so we'll see what he does in Kansas City in, 2-degree weather. I'm not saying that they can't win that game. Kansas City's vulnerable, but you know, we're looking at the regular season here. And obviously, all right, if the Dolphins go on some crazy 2007 New York Giants type of run, all right, what I'm saying here is totally null and void. But I feel like whether they beat the Chiefs or not, a lot of what I'm going to say here, it stands. So let's talk about Tua game by game. Let's talk about him in the big games, right? So I went through all the games, and 6 times this year, Tua had the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to either win or tie the game. Time number 1 was week 1 against the Los Angeles Chargers, and obviously Tua did the job there. He got down the field, got the touchdown, and that was his best game of the season. Shit, in my opinion, that was the best game of his career. He was masterful that game. He was running outside the pocket, throwing. He had that one great throw. He had like 8 immaculate passes that game on the run at Tyreek Hill, the touchdown to win the game. I mean, Tua, week 1, he carried this team. All right. The second opportunity that he got was at Philadelphia. October 22nd, had the ball in the fourth quarter and a chance to really take over the game. And he just floated up a ball to the running back that was just easily intercepted. It was an arm punt, basically, and that was a loss. So we're 1 for 1 there. 1 win, 1 loss. Next opportunity was 2 weeks later. Kansas City, Frankfurt, Germany. Miscommunication with Cedric Wilson, and then dropping the snap on 4th down, didn't get it done. So whether you want to blame the missed snap on on Tua or on Connor Williams. In my opinion, Tua dropped that snap. So, you're 1-2 there. Had a chance to come back and win that game. You didn't. All right, next opportunity was home against Tennessee. He got the ball down 1 point with a minute and change to go. 4th and short. He just runs right at a defender. It's a fail. 1-3. Next opportunity, home against Dallas. All right. And in this game, he got the job done. He got down the field, scored, got the field goal. Dolphins win the game, clinch a playoff spot. And look, that wasn't totally on Tua. A lot of that was running the ball, but Tua completed it when he needed to, so I'll give him the credit there. And finally, home against Buffalo last night, gift-wrapped an extra drive. Really, Buffalo should have kicked the field goal, went up by 10, game's over. But they didn't. Your defense bailed you out, and you got a chance. And, a lot of times you just see him press. He throws these balls that just go right to defenders, and you just sit there and go, why the hell did you do that? You know who threw a lot of passes like that? A quarterback who had a lot of talent, who just never really made that jump into the elite tier. And he was also a Pro Bowl quarterback at a time in his career. That quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. And there are things that Tua does that are immaculate. One of those things is the deep ball. I've never seen a Dolphins season with so many deep balls drop right in the breadbasket for long touchdowns than I have this year. Unfortunately, that's dropped off towards the end of this season. It's like it's just been taken out of the arsenal. Or when we do try it, Tyreek Hill's dropping passes. Or there was that misfire to Achane in the Tennessee game. I mean, it ain't there. And you could look at injuries, and sure, fair enough, injuries, but Tua, he wasn't sacked at all yesterday. The only sack Buffalo got was Achane on a halfback pass. So, when I look at Tua, and I'm going to go by the eye test here, and just my opinion. At this point, I would say he's a top 10 quarterback. However, the issue right now is that the Dolphins have a Super Bowl window that is going to be no more than 2 or 3 years, right? Cap hell is coming. It's coming. We got Tyreek Hill for next year. We got Waddle next year. And hopefully we figure out a third receiver, whether that's Claypool or whoever it's going to be. But we're going to cap hell soon. You're not going to be able to keep everyone, but for the love of God, whatever you do, you got to find a way to keep Christian Wilkins, because that man, and he's a dog, man. I know this is a Tua video, but Christian Wilkins has been outstanding this year. I would really hate to see him go, but if we're honing in on Tua and thinking like, hey, he's got an agent. He wants to set up his family for life. Do you want to give him top 5 quarterback money? Because in my opinion, if you do that, you're really going to be sacrificing on other areas of the field. And I don't know if this team can win with just Tua and just a receiving core that just isn't as powerful as they have right now. I do think that the receiving core is a little overrated, though. And I love Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but, it's an oddity to have just short, fast receivers on both parts of the field, and they're not really utilizing the tight end very much or any other receiver. So you're constantly throwing the ball to undersized, fast guys, and that's a one-trick pony that when teams that are physical and bump them off the line of scrimmage and they take that away, this offense can't move. In all of these games against the high-powered teams, the Dolphins can't pass 20 points. I mean, shit, you could score 70 against a team that doesn't make the playoffs all day, but what the people are here to see is when you play against the high-powered teams, the most points you got against a top-tier team was 22 against Dallas. And look, that's not that impressive of an offensive game, not impressive enough. So, look, I don't know. I think the issue is that they're already probably going to stick with Tua, right? He's signed for next year. They might try and sign him to a long-term deal, and that's what scares me. But the thing is, I think that this team could win a Super Bowl if they have a quarterback that, like Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady, who is obviously retired, or a top tier quarterback that is a veteran that you could have got at other points in other off seasons, but you didn't pull the trigger. And I don't know if any of those guys become available this off season, but man, I don't know. You got to let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to have the discussion. In my opinion, look, I love Tua the kid. I really don't see a better alternative coming. So, I'm going to rock with whoever's on the field, right? I don't care if it's Tua. I don't care if it's Mike White. Doesn't matter to me. I'm rocking with whoever's taking that football and whoever's going to win us football games. So, that's just my 2 cents, is that we got to see Tua get these games done in the clutch and against good teams because, look, the stats are great. Passing yards, outstanding. Pro Bowl selection. Best quarterback season I've been alive to see for the Miami Dolphins. But I'm well aware that there's better out there in the NFL right now. And as quarterbacks are getting bigger, faster, and stronger, it's fine to have a point guard quarterback that just delivers the ball to the receivers on time. But, when that play isn't there, man, it's like, phew, there's really, other than that week 1 game, he's not going off script a lot. So I don't know what happened after that week 1 game, or if the Chargers secondary was just that shit that day, or what happened. But that was an anomaly, and we haven't really seen it since then. So I don't know. I'll be back. What's today? Today's Monday. I'll be back Wednesday to preview Dolphins versus Chiefs. Hopefully, I didn't offend too many people with my statements today. But you know what? No one's going to fucking watch it. No one's looking up Dolphin videos today. So figured I'd just lay my balls on the table. All right. Appreciate you. See ya.